Just us in top five miniature games with watch out models. What do I mean by a watch out model? Let's see. Watch out, they're great? No. Watch out, you might snap it. Watch out. Be careful. Hazard. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. That's what this list is. You get into one of these miniature games, watch out for the models at all cost. Hint, they all have something in common. So let's see what number 5 is. Number 5 is Wild West Exodus. Wild West Exodus, solid game. Resin miniatures. And yes, resin miniatures and plastic miniatures. Plastic miniatures are great. They're on sprues, can assemble. Pretty chunky size because Wild West Exodus is not 28 millimeter. It's about a 30-35 millimeter scale, which everything's slightly larger, and they are great on their plastic models because everything is like single piece. The gun is attached to the hands, which then goes to the arm, which goes to the torso. The torso is usually 2 pieces, maybe 1 actually on some of them. So why is this on the list? Resin. When you get the thin, whippy whips on some of the models, yeah, they snap. If you didn't know that, they can. They snap easily. And yeah, when they're already a couple millimeters, how do you put a pin in that? Very carefully. Or super glue is your friend. So the resin models, not as bad as others on this list. So let's see what's next. Number 4. Monster Apocalypse from Privateer Press. The little miniatures are solid. Metal, some plastic, mostly resin. And there's not much like sprue markings or mold lines on them or the big old like thick circles on it. That's where the peg was when it was in the mold. They just yank it out of the mold and they chop it off and they leave you the rest to cut off. Thanks, gaming companies. We appreciate that big round circle of pain in the butt to cut through. But they're big guys. Oh, the 3, 4, 5, 8 pieces of the big guys. Hey, they're big models. I know I put that on my other list. If you haven't figured out where that goes, you can go check that out. But those big models, some of them are beautiful. Some of those are great. But why on earth did you make it out of that material and you put that little peg piece that you yanked it out of the mold or whatever it is, where you put them? Sometimes it's really hard to make a curved surface curve with a big old circle on it. How am I supposed to curve it? What do you think? I got some skills? I'm here just to chop this off. A little shave. Yeah, we're good with that. But a big old chunk of plastic resin? No, thank you. But Monster Apocalypse, fun game. Check it out. Number 3. Marvel Crisis Protocol. Not resin. Plastic. Your tiny head Black Panther might be 2-3 pieces. Oh, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, you're really great. Why is your arm 3 pieces? It's skinny as anything. 3 pieces, really? Oh, look, there's coffee cups and stuff for the base. But there's only 1 piece of this, and it's smaller than the coffee cup. You could have, like, anticipated we were going to lose pieces and put multiple of the small pieces. That way when we lost the first one, there will be a second one. People running around like, how do I fix this? It's lost on my floor. It's lost in my carpet. I don't know where it went. It's smaller than a crumb. How do you find something that's gray on a dark surface? I don't know. Maybe, could we start doing neon green plastics? That would help us. Not many neon green carpets out there, I'm sure, nor tiles. Neon green plastics. Maybe that can be a new trend in Atomic Mass. Your Atomic Mass game. Nuclear green plastics, so we can find the little pieces as we lose them. So, number 2, Rumble Slam, and Rumble Slam. You might not know what Rumble Slam is. It's a wrestling game, really fun little wrestling game. Resin pieces. Oh my goodness, why did you make the little goblin 5 pieces that I have to like super glue my finger to? And if you don't know what super glue accelerator is, find it. Google it. Super glue accelerator. It is your best friend. Now, again, not too bad. Oh, wait a minute. They're wearing really thin gym working outfits that have little strings. Snap! I ain't pinning that. It's not even a millimeter wide. It's just gone. Maybe if you got some super skill with super glue, you can fix it. Otherwise, it is what it is. Otherwise, it's hit or miss. This is number 2 on the list because you don't know what you're going to get. It is, as Forrest Gump would say, like a box of chocolates because you don't know what you're going to get when you open it. You open that box, oh look, these models been sitting on this store's shelf for maybe 3 years because no one's ever heard of Marble Slam, and they just had this from the first run. It was the first runs of the mold, and the first runs of a mold, if you didn't know, are the best, the cleanest. Maybe I get the last run of the mold, and the mold's not doing so good anymore. Yeah, you got some bad mold lines. Especially when the mold lines are inside like the troll, and the troll's got spikes on the back of it, and you're trying to get between them, because as soon as you paint them, everything's visible. Rumble Slam, number 2 on my list. So what could be number 1? What could be number 1? Here it is. No more waiting. Batman miniature game. Everything's resin. Everything's small. Wild West Exodus, I give you kudos. You went like 35 millimeter. Batman. Why is this figure so small? It's almost like for a 20 millimeter game. Oh look, that looks like a 28 millimeter figure. Why is this diorama my game piece? It's like 40 millimeter scale. There is no same in scale. Giant piece because we want it to be so important, because if you know about anything about Marvel Crisis Protocol, and like Thanos has a throne, and it's like, well, why did he have a piece of scenery? Batman was there first. Batman was making decorative diorama pieces before Marvel Crisis was doing it. And they were doing it in resin, not plastic. And little piece here, little piece there. One of the guys that I learned the game from was talking about, I think it was a Robin figure or a Catwoman figure, and the leg broke. So they took a pin, heated up both ends with a lighter, stabbed it in one side of the resin, stabbed it in the other side of the resin, boop, melted the resin so it stuck together. I don't know if that's a better fix than trying super glue, but it's a pin effective. So be prepared to start working with resin if you play with Batman, and learn how to fix resin. Because their figures, skinny, nimble. Hey, but you don't have to put them together. Except for the hands might be falling off because the hands are holding the sword, and they didn't put the sword on the body when they casted the mold because, you know, they thought that was fragile. Yeah, they thought it was fragile. They're right, it is fragile. And so when I put the glue on and I play it with my game, and someone, you know, comes around with big old sausage fingers, go poof, and the model goes flying across the room, I got no hands. Where'd the hands go? I don't know. They thought it was fragile. They were right. It was fragile. And now I got no hands. So be careful you get in Batman. Learn to love resin. If you love the game, love resin. Thanks for watching. Let me know what games are out there that I should watch out for. And did you find out what the thing that was in common? If you haven't figured it out yet, it's called resin! Take care.